Now, it is one of the most popular and epic sci-fi shows out there, and tonight Foundation is back, and oh, it is better than ever. Our Morgan Norwood sat down with one of the show's stars, Lee Pace, with more on what to expect in the newly released season.
And Lee Pace is here with us now. Lee, welcome. Okay, we just have to dive in. For those who have not seen this show, set the scene for us. What's going on here?
Our show is Isaac Asimov's Foundation, and it's about the crumbling of a galactic empire headed towards a dark age that mankind might not survive. There's a mathematician played by Jared Harris called Harry Seldon, who predicts that this fall, and he uses a thing called psychohistory, which is a mathematical model that looks at the cycles of humanity and predicts that there is a dark age coming that man may never bounce back from. So that's like the big idea of the show. I play the emperors of the galaxy, and I say emperors because I play a cloned succession of emperors. There was a great emperor, Cleon I, who lived 600 years before where we are now in the show. This season I play Cleon the 24th. Last season I played Cleon the 18th, and then the season before that I played Cleon the 12th. We do massive time jumps in the show. Time is very much a character of the show.
This is a moment roughly 4 months from now. Given the timing, I assumed it might be a novel input affecting the third Seldon crisis. But I've run millions of simulations, and every time it produces the same result. Seldon's predicted dark ages.
Well, it's so interesting. You talked about time being its own character in and of itself, but we see season 3 take place 152 years past season 2. I'm curious how your character has evolved and what we'll see.
One of the fun things I get to do on the show is make a character that is the same, because it is the idea is that it's the same man, but he's also completely different. So last season's Cleon was, I guess I kind of centered him on this idea that he was all ego. He thought he was the hero of the story, that he's like, the emperor is going to set things right, he's going to kill who he needs to kill, and he would, save the day. And what was interesting to me was the blind spots, the things that he didn't understand were happening, that were actually the heroic elements of the story.
I like the way that you described him, but your portrayal of Brother Day in season 3 has been described relaxed, lounging in a villa with a cloned camel, a drug dealer concubine, and very few cares. I am curious, when you got this script, what went through your mind and you're seeing all of these things?
This season I play an emperor who, doesn't care. He's no longer living in the palace. He no longer thinks that he's responsible for running things. It's fun to see an unserious person in serious situations, right? I'm here! Huzzah! Hey, handsome. What was so damn important?
Earlier today, Brother Dawn and I previewed a cause for concern regarding the Radiant's near-term predictions.
Look at you two, praying to the great god of numbers, pretending to be Seldon.
You walk out of here and I swear I'll have Demerzel decant a new one of you.
Please, brother, this is important.
Why? Because it says so?
Just, please.
How do you interpret this decline, but then also your character as well?
Well, I guess what I find interesting about this show is that it's not like about a big battle. There are battles that happen, but there's not going to be someone who wins. And I find that really interesting. And I find it interesting that I played these, the center of the galaxy, this emperor was someone who, every season I just exterminated trillions of people, right? That's how his power was manifest in the story. And now I'm playing someone who is not interested in doing that.
Lee, science fiction sometimes can be an intimidating genre. You mentioned how cerebral it is and how sometimes you really have to watch to know what's going on, to get the characters, the layers, the backstory, the technology. What would you say to someone to convince them to watch this show?
the story builds. And when I think back to where we started in season 1, the story was small. It has like a very clear political layout, conflicts. And we've built on that, built on that, built on that. So now season 3, there are a lot of players on the board. And I also think that what Isaac Asimov set out to do when he wrote this story, what inspired him was the Roman Empire.
Yes.
And the fall of the Roman Empire and the Dark Ages that followed that, then of course got, rebuilt society in a more sophisticated way. And that's what we're kind of telling a story about.
The Emperor's peace is the promise of the Imperium. Our world will live on! Your worlds will not!
But we've taken it and expanded it in this extraordinary way. We think about humans kind of like populating the globe, and then you kind of take that idea and let it go a bit further, like they somehow got off planet. And then they went a bit further and further and further and further until they've somehow populated the whole galaxy. And you've forgotten where Earth was to begin with.
The darkness there represents the end of civilization. And beyond that point, the model now fails entirely. Which means there are events already in motion that will render Selden's numbers useless. Perhaps even the extinction of your species. 4 months from now.
Well, the fans would certainly like to see that too. We understand Foundation is streaming right now. Lee Pace, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for talking with me. I appreciate it.
And thank you, Morgan. Foundation is now streaming on Apple TV+.